Dear friends, I welcome you to reflect on this 12th Sunday of the ordinary year. How 2020 will be remembered in the history. Someone responded, it will be remembered as a year of fear. Why? Why do you say it's a year of fear? Yes, 2026 months are gone. So it will be remembered as a year filled with fear. Fear of death, fear of illness, and fear of isolation, fear of debts, and fear of pushing one another, blaming one another, and more than say, fear of online education. People are being spoiled, young children. So a lot of fears. It will be known, it will be remembered as a year of fear, various fears. I told the person, you can come out of this fear of sickness, fear of illness, fear of death, and fear of worries, fear of addicted to gadgets. But there's one fear which is very, very difficult to recover. The last week we know how an coming up actor, a well knowledgeable engineer, passion towards science, and ended up in acting, he felt rejected. Fear of rejection, fear of denial, fear of being pushed out. How he couldn't come out. He did not find a way to come out. He did not have trust in anyone. He was rejected, denied, ended his life. We struggle always the fear of denial. Fear of denial has become a major trial, a major opposition. Fear of denial will come in the form of pushing one person down. See to that one ends in life in failure, career in failure, not allowing the person to move forward. It's clear from the first reading how Jeremiah is expressing how he's been opposed, how he's been resisted, rejected, denied by people as they accuse him. As he says, there's a threat around me, there's a terror, there's a hardship. They're waiting for me to fall, once and for all fall. They're waiting for me to see my inability, disability. So he's expressing, and he says he will not let that fear to push him down, the fear of rejection, denial, because he is not, they call, the Almighty Yahweh called me. So he overcomes that with two things. One thing is with faith, second thing is with worth. Faith in the Almighty. He is with me. He will see to that fear will move away. The fear will not touch me. He is with me. He called me. He is walking with me. He has a plan for me. He works in me. Second, the one who called for me, he make worth. I am worthy in the presence of God, in the eyes of God, to respond to his call. The gospel, again, the same element of yield oneself to fear. Rather, making us to realize you're worth, you're more than so many sparrows. If you know that sparrow was a popular thing, common thing in that time. So he said, you're worth. And don't fail to move away. Forget that I am there. Put your faith in me and realize the worth that you are special, the worth in you. I sowed the seed in you. Yes, dear friends, as slowly we are trying to move out, hopefully June, July, as we begin to renew our life, regain our life. The challenge is to put our trust, faith in the Lord, the faith, and not allowing any fear of rejection, isolation, denial. And secondly, realizing the worth, the God who has made me, given me some worth. There's so much I'm worthy to share, extend and enhance God's gift in me. God's gift in me. And we know Teresa of Avila, a great doctor of the church, one of the doctors of the church and a thinker. And she happened to be a spiritual mentor of St. John of the Cross. And she says, I felt denied, rejected by my own sisters, the one who were part of me, who joined me, because I want to reform the life, religious life I formed. So I want to reform the one I found, began. But those who came, they were denying, rejecting, throwing me out. They are pushing me, they want me to fall. They complain to Holy See, they complain to cardinal bishops. And she says, God uses this denials, rejection, trials, tribulations, like a devil uses these all and shaping us like a stone. He uses all this as a shaping stones, shaping our life. And she says, all those who are denying, they dead and gone, they fell before me. God made me a choice, gave me a choice, opportunity to withstand and go on, move on to the reforming the order. And we have St. Oscar Romero, the Archbishop of El Salvador. When he had a lot of death threat because he stood up for the cause, the society, the country. His own friends were killed, who were part of his own thought process, movement, had been killed. They told him to move away. He said, I will stay with my people. He said, I will stay with my people. And he says, enemy is dwelling in fear. Enemy is dwelling in this fear of rejection, denial, threat. And he said, I never allowed fear to have power over me. The denial, rejection, trials, tribulation, they don't have power over me. So enemy dwell in fear, don't allow yourself. Yes, dear friends, as we come desiring when they come back to church sooner or rather, in this ordinary season we have started this lockdown with the Lent, then Easter, Holy Week, Easter time, an ordinary season. Hopefully things will change. But let our life, let our heart's thoughts be fallen to fear. Let our faith in the Almighty may enable us confidently to realize the worth He has given to each one of us to stand up, to rise above. Amen.